We are Onyx Imaging. We are the highest rated and most reviewed printer service center in Oklahoma.
Hi, my name is John with Onyx Imaging. Today we're going to take a look at this Lexmark MX517 printer, and we're going to talk about some common causes of paper jams. More specifically, we're going to talk about common causes of paper jams that happen because of issues inside of the paper tray. So the first thing I want to do is go ahead and remove our paper tray. And then I'm also going to take the paper out of here so we can get a better look at the bottom of the tray here. So when you look at the bottom of this paper tray, you notice there's a couple adjusting tabs inside of this paper tray, as well as a bunch of markings on the bottom of this paper tray. And what that's for is for adjusting this paper tray for the specific size paper that you're using in this paper tray. So in our case, we're using a standard 8.5 by 11 or letter paper. So we want to make sure that all these indications are set for letter. So you just squeeze this little green handle and you can slide these back and forth and line these little arrows up with the correct marking on the bottom of the paper tray. So it's very, very important that this is set for the correct size piece of paper you're using. If they're not, a couple things can happen. One, which is the biggest issue, is it doesn't allow the paper to fit inside this paper tray correctly. And that's what's going to cause the paper jams, because the printer is not going to be able to pick up the paper properly. So that would be my biggest concern. Also, sometimes the printer can have some confusion where it's looking for a different size piece of paper than it's actually getting. And so even if it pulls a piece of paper, it can give you a paper jam error because it thinks there's a different size piece of paper that should be going through it. So very, very important. Make sure that all these little markings, all these little adjusting pieces are set correctly for the specific size paper you're using in this paper tray. The next thing that happens quite frequently that causes paper jams comes from adding paper into your printer. And what happens is you're down to a couple sheets of paper or half full tray. You go to add a next stack of paper, or your next stack of paper on top of it. You take the paper, you're going to slide it into the paper tray, and what happens is it pushes some paper to the back and then kind of curls into the back of the paper tray. If that happens, what happens is it squeezes that paper into the paper tray and it doesn't allow the printer to pull it properly. So very important, whenever you add paper into the paper tray, give it a quick visual inspection. Make sure you have a nice clean stack on all four sides and you don't see any paper curled up anywhere. If you do, just take a second, remove it from the printer. It'll go a long, long way as far as reducing the amount of paper jams you're getting. Now, another thing that happens quite frequently from adding paper is overfilling this paper tray. If you look at those little adjusting tabs we talked about earlier, you'll see there's little pieces of plastic that poke inwards towards the paper, and that's your maximum fill line. You never want to fill this paper tray over those little plastic tabs. And generally speaking, I think it's a good idea to actually leave a small gap between the top sheet of paper and these little maximum fill lines. I get nobody wants us to stop in the middle of a print job and add paper, but it's more frustrating to have to stop constantly and remove paper jams from the printer. So don't overfill your paper tray. Leave yourself a little bit of room. And if you notice that after you add paper you start getting paper jams and it's just constant, but it'll slowly start to get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better, then you're probably overfilling this paper tray. So just something to kind of look out for. Now if you've tried all three of those and it doesn't seem to be doing anything, it's not helping, you're still getting consistent jams, there's a good chance, especially if you've had this printer for a while and it hasn't been maintenance, or it's been a long time since it's had any kind of maintenance, there's a really good chance that the rollers are worn out and need to be replaced. If that's the case, please feel free to reach out to Onyx. We'd love to help you out with that. Also, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to Onyx. We'd love to help answer those for you as well. We hope you have a great day and you're back up and printing. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. If you're interested in how you can receive free labor on all of your service calls, as well as how to qualify for free printer upgrades, contact us today. We are here for all of your printer and office supply needs.